Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Talk. I'm staff writer Evan Fish.
And I'm staff writer Madeline Therriault.
And we're here today to talk a bit about the thing that gets us through the day and gets a lot of people our age, and really just a lot of people around the world through the day, and that's music.
Music. I love music. I listen to music every single day.
So do I. It's 100% like how I've survived high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And middle school.
I think I started really after listening to music in 8th grade, like in school at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't before then. I just kind of didn't really even think of it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I started, what was it? I remember distinctly at the start of 6th grade, because Spotify was blocked, so we all had to work around and find different workarounds. So I remember just searching it up on just random things that I knew were unblocked and just listening to it there. And it's so funny to see how because obviously with graduation soon, I've been clearing out a bunch of my old bookmarks that I don't use. So I see in the 6th grade stuff, all the bookmarks,
all of your
all the
bookmarks.
music. And I was just oh wow, I remember that. So I think I started doing it mostly around middle school, listening to it in school. But I think that's probably how I survived middle school.
Yeah, that's fair. Just for me at least, it very much helps me focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that music sometimes gets a bit of a bad rep among
I
people
agree.
our age, because when you think of teens listening to music, you think of teens driving in their cars, blasting rap music with, cuss words every other word.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think especially in school, people are oh, listening to music doesn't help you focus. I think we actually wrote a head-to-head on that. I think there's a head-to-head written on the Prowler, so go check that out. But yeah, I think me personally, listening to music in class helps me focus a lot. But there is definitely this little stigma, if you want to call it that, around teenagers doing that and everything. I feel like everybody associates teenagers with rap music, but that's not the type of music I listen to. So. And
there are a lot of teens that kind of walk around with AirPods in their ears all the time, which it's just if someone's talking to you, I am very much a proprietor of if someone's talking to you, don't have earbuds in.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of rude at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In class, if the teacher's talking, unless I really need it for whatever reason, I'm going to have, my music out. It's when I get into busy work where it helps me focus on that work.
Yeah.
It eliminates all the background noise from me kind of zoning in on others' conversations and sounds in the room that I might obsess over. Yeah.
I think one of the worst experiences is when I forgot my earbuds at home. And it happened last year. I forgot my earbuds at home, so I had to walk through the hallways, and I actually got to listen to everything. And that was horrifying. That was really overstimulating. So, and that's another reason why I think music has really helped me get through school, is not just because of the focus aspect of it, but also because it helps me calm down in certain situations.
Same.
In very overstimulating situations, I'll put in my headphones, I'll put in my earbuds, and I'll try to not focus on that. And it really helps me calm down. So
music's really interesting because different types of music can evoke certain emotions, certain feelings. And I know that for myself, maybe you do the same thing, but I have certain few songs that are kind of my calm songs. That's the music that really calms me down.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
I do have that. I also have my songs that there's 3 categories. It's the songs that I listen to on the regular basis, the songs that help calm me down or help me relax, and then there's the songs that I put strictly off limits for any other time besides when I'm sad, and those are normally the sad songs, because I get really emotional when listening to music sometimes. So those are my 3 categories. But yeah, I have a certain my Spotify playlists are everywhere. They are everywhere. But I do have a certain playlist that's just you know, calm and relaxing stuff that I want to listen to when I'm feeling those feelings. So, yeah. What type of music do you listen to?
Well, I'm a theater kid at heart. I have been for a very long time, so I think you can guess by that. Like, it's all pretty much all. You know, I also kind of fall into those same three categories, except instead of the sad music, it's like music that'll like hype me up a little bit.
Okay.
Energize me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the music I listen to at the regular is all my show tunes. It's all my show tunes from all sorts of different shows. Not just like, that is really what it helps me focus. And, you know, I tend to listen to a lot of the same songs over and over, like you want to kick
on repeat
an album. Yeah. And that also is helpful because if it's a new song, then sometimes my brain will want to focus on the music.
Yeah.
So if I'm focusing in on my work, then I'll choose songs that I know pretty well. Then they can just kind of fade into the background for me.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually pretty smart. I literally play the same like 7 songs on repeat. Yeah, they are on repeat. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the theater music myself. It's not my main music genre, but it's definitely in there.
What's your main?
Ooh. My main music genre is actually death metal, black metal bands. I'm really into the heavy metal scene. Really into all that. So that's another thing that, like, with me, some people will ask like what I'm listening to in school, and I'll like give them my headphones, and they're like, "Oh, you're just listening to a bunch of people scream." But it just makes me calm down. It's just my type of genre. But yeah, that's normally what I listen to. But also, it's such a wide spectrum because there's like the few theater songs, there's the few like pop songs, and then there's my main genre that just fills up most of it, and then it kind of just loops around. So when Spotify Rap comes out, that's a mess.
And that's the thing, is that like everyone's music genre is different. Of course, we have two very different genres. Very different genres. But I think that's another thing that, like we mentioned earlier, with teens listening to this rap music, but for some people that is their thing.
Oh yeah.
And I respect them for that. Like, to be honest, I think it's kind of hard to find rap music that isn't, you know, cussing every other word. That can be kind of hard to do. So I do think there are some teens that are just being a little bit like try hard about it. But for people that actually like it, like
you do you. If you enjoy it,
if you enjoy it, then listen to it. Just don't be obnoxious about it.
Please
guess. Don't be obnoxious about it.
I say that, but I'm pretty obnoxious about my music taste. You should see my Instagram stories. I post my favorite band at least 3 times a day. Well, I actually just did it this morning.
I think when I say obnoxious, I mean like don't make the rest of us listen to it.
Oh yeah, no.
Listen to it.
I know that my type of music, like listening to death metal where everybody is screaming and you can't listen to the lyrics unless you actually look up the lyrics. Like, I know that is not everybody's cup of tea. So, and it's not hard. I know a couple of friends that have tried to force me to like listen to like rap music and country music. I'm a country music hater. I'm gonna just say that. But yeah, that was horrible, and I'm just kind of like, well, I have the same respect for my music taste that I do with yours.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have respect for other people's music tastes, and I think, you know, you can. I think sharing songs and being like, hey, this is my music taste, you should listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it. It's good song, I think.
I think that's why, like, Spotify jams are fun. Spotify has that thing where it's like you can mix your music taste with somebody else. So I think that's really fun. I think that's pretty cool.
I don't actually use Spotify.
Boo. I am a day one Spotify user.
I never really have.
Oh. It's okay.
Yeah, I've always used Apple Music.
Yeah.
That's just been my go-to. I don't know why. Just always has been.
Yeah. But Spotify has that where you can share your music with other people. So I think that's really cool.
That's cool.
And you know, you can leave at any time. Like, if you don't like it, you could just leave it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, as long as you don't bombard me with your music taste, that like, especially if you know I don't like it, that's fine, you know. But everybody has their certain types of music tastes.
And I think that's good to share, because I think communities can bond over similar music tastes, and I think that's something that's also really special about it. And I wish that places like schools would recognize that a lot of students need this music to get through the day.
Yeah.
Because every year you always have that one or two teachers that are like, no music.
Yeah. Which really, really annoys me, because it's like, you know, in like our cases, it helps us focus while doing work. Like, in my opinion, it's not hard to just be like, you know, don't listen to it while I'm talking, but you can listen to it while you work.
And I think that is
I think that's
very
perfectly
fair.
reasonable.
Yeah, like I would 100% be, if I were a teacher, be like, hey, if I'm talking, I don't want your earbuds in, but if you're just working, then why do I care? Like, if you get the work done and you do well, why does it matter?
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. As long as, you know, the music isn't blaring in your headphones to the point that the whole class can hear it. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, I think.
Yeah, as long as other people can't hear it.
Yeah.
You know, what's the issue if you're just having everyone do individual work? And I think it's ridiculous that a lot of schools and a lot of counties, at least ours, are having issues with it.
Yeah.
And they need to recognize that there are students out there who that helps them learn. And taking that away from students, I think, is doing a disservice to them as a school system. Yeah.
I know for some students there's like certain accommodations, but even if you don't have those accommodations, you should still be able to do it, you know.
And some of those accommodations can be hard to get if you don't show like an academic need for them. And that's a problem.
Especially if something like oh, I listen to music and it helps me with my schoolwork. Like, for like some people that's hard to prove, like what you just said. How do you academically like show that? Sometimes it can be really hard,
because if it's a determined student, then they'll go home and do the work. Then you know, they maybe be having trouble focusing getting them in the class, and they go home, they do all this homework with their music, and they do well. And then in that case, like, it's impossible. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that the only way to be able to learn is to fail. Like, to not do well in your classes and then blame it on something else. Like, I think that's really terrible way of testing whether a student needs a plan like this.
Oh yeah.
Because there are students that need it for other reasons as well. And there are students who, like, they're still going to do well in the classes because they want to do well, because they want to go to college, because they want to have a future. So since they can go home and do their work, they're going to.
Yeah, I feel like people should be more like aware of that. I feel like it's something that people could 100% work on. It's just what works for people works for people. Like, if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But if it works for other people, why should you take that away from them? Yeah,
I'm like, you know, especially at our age, I think a lot of us know kind of what helps us and what doesn't. Like,
we've gone through trials and errors.
Exactly. Like, you're 18, I'm about to be 18. So we're both, like, at this point in life, after 18 years of living, we know pretty well what helps us and what doesn't.
If you're not aware of what helps you and what doesn't at this age, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's just, that's something you should seek help for. If you're having trouble figuring out what helps you and what doesn't. You know, looking into therapy, or just trying some different things and see what works and what doesn't. Some people unfortunately don't have the opportunity to figure out what works and what doesn't. And schools are kind of taking that away from them as well. Any schools that are trying to restrict music usage, because, I mean, are there any studies that show that music is a negative effect on people?
I think there's definitely a bunch of studies that show that. I mean, like, how can there not be, you know?
I mean, like, studies that show that music is negative.
Oh, that's
what I'm asking.
negative.
Yeah.
There's probably some out there. I feel like probably some people that like are like, oh, kids should be focusing in class, blah 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 blah. Blah. There's probably some out there, but you know, if I feel like if you weigh the pros and cons, there's more pros than cons. Again, it goes to the whole thing of like, you don't have to listen to music when the teacher is talking. Like, you actually shouldn't do that because you're not retaining any information.
Right.
Because you're focused on the music.
Yeah, you're not hearing them.
You know, as soon as it goes to, you know, like individual work, classwork and everything, you should be able to 100% because at least like you know the information now and you're just putting it to work. So
I think those studies are also somewhat skewed because for some people, music isn't going to help them.
Yeah.
Everyone's brain is wired differently.
Oh yeah.
So some people music works for them and other people music doesn't. Sometimes some people it lets them focus, some people it does the opposite. And so that's not something we can really study.
Yeah. I had this conversation with Mr. King the other day actually. And he was like, you know, do y'all like listening to music when you work? And I was like, oh, I love it. And he was like, yeah, it doesn't work for me because then I get so focused in the music instead of the work, and so I physically can't listen to music while I work. And that's coming from a band director who deals with music every single day.
Yeah.
Like, so it just shows that there's so many people that have different beliefs on it and everything, and there's so many people that do it different ways, and that's okay.
That's why I think people need to be allowed to make their own choices.
Yeah.
And as long as they recognize, like, if someone's talking to you, it is kind of rude to listen to music.
Yeah, but for the same respect that, you know, they're putting towards you. You know?
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of said everything I need to say.
Me too.
In short, schools, you need to let students make their own choices when it comes to music because it helps a lot of kids, and taking away that opportunity is, I think, doing a disservice to them.
Yeah.
And guess what? If music ends up harming them, well, then it's going to show in their grades.
Yeah.
Like,
it's going to show.
and, you know, that's how they're going to learn that it doesn't work for them.
Mm-hmm.
How else are they going to learn?
Exactly.
It's just forced upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Then as soon as they get to college, then, you know, because college is probably more lenient, I would imagine.
Oh, probably. I have a bunch of friends there that are like, yeah, they just...
Yeah, then as soon as they go to college and, you know, you're like, finally you can listen to my music and it doesn't work for you, well, you weren't given the opportunity to find that out in high school. So it's also not preparing kids for college in that way.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much said everything I want to say about
So, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
This has been staff writer Evan Fish.
And staff writer Madeline Therriault.
And thanks for listening to Real Talk. Keep it real out there, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.